Good morning. Welcome to Morning Special. 여러분 안녕하세요. 11월 8일 금요일 최수진의 Morning Special입니다. It's a freezing morning, but the weather certainly won't stop people from enjoying the highlight of this season, the autumn foliage. Bright crimson and gold, vivid orange and brown. These colors are certainly demanding our attention, and this weekend seems to be the perfect time to treat ourselves to nature's grand annual show. 서울관광재단이 서울의 단풍 명소로 5곳을 소개했습니다. 남산 둘레길, 경의선 숲길, 백사실 계곡, 창덕궁 후원, 위례성길 등 5곳인데요. 소개된 글을 읽어보니까 각각의 장소가 모두 독특한 매력을 가진 곳이더라고요. 이번 주말에는 단풍과 함께 깊어가는 가을을 한번 만끽해보시면 어떨까요? Of course, there are many other places that offer fantastic views of the season's colors. How about you? 여러분이 추천하고 싶은 명소나 나만의 단풍놀이 장소는 어디일까요? With that in mind, let me give you today's quiz question. An informal term describing the activity in which people travel to view the fall foliage is known as this. 1번, leaf peeping. 2번, leaf tasting. 3번, leaf hugging. 오늘도 청취자 여러분의 많은 참여 기다리고 있습니다. 퀴즈 정답 보내주신 분들 중에 추첨을 통해서 총 5분께 저자극 순한 비누 보내드리겠습니다. 또 여러분의 소식과 소감 그리고 방송 중 궁금한 질문 있으시면 보내주세요. 짧은 문자 50원, 긴 문자 100원에 샵 1045고요. 반디 게시판이나 카카오톡 플러스 이용도 가능합니다. Okay, then let's kick off today's show with today's global headlines. 세계 각국 언론사들의 어떤 헤드라인이 올라왔는지 살펴보는 시간입니다. Touch Global Headlines.
Iran has announced the resumption of uranium enrichment at the country's underground Fordo nuclear facility.
이란이 핵 합의 이행 수준을 축소하는 4단계 조처로 포르도 지하 시설에서 우라늄 농축을 재개했습니다.
Amid 3 weeks of anti-government protests, Chile's president has sent a bill to Congress that would raise the country's minimum wage.
경제 불평등에 분노한 시위가 3주째 이어지는 칠레에서 대통령이 최저임금 인상 법안을 제안했습니다.
Following U.S.-led talks, Egypt, Ethiopia, and Sudan have made a commitment to resolving a dispute over a large dam project along the Nile River.
이집트, 에티오피아, 수단 3개국이 미국 중재로 나일강의 물 분쟁에 관한 해결책 마련에 나섰습니다.
More than 2,000 teachers and other employees in Croatia's education system have rallied in the capital of Zagreb to press for higher wages.
크로아티아에서 교사와 교육계 종사자 2천여 명이 거리로 나와 임금 인상을 요구하는 시위를 벌였습니다.
China and France have decided to cooperate in restoration efforts of France's Notre Dame Cathedral.
중국이 화재로 훼손된 프랑스 파리 노트르담 대성당 복구 작업에 참여하기로 했습니다. Well, for the headlines and more this morning, I'm joined by Steve. Good morning.
Good morning to you. Good morning to our listeners. Friday once again.
Yes.
This week, I don't know why, but it seemed to go by faster than any other week.
Oh, really?
In the past few, anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Would you like to go leaf peeping with me?
No.
Okay.
You know, it's interesting though. I say this every year at this time of year. If you've never been to the east coast of Canada, Nova Scotia's foliage looks almost exactly the same as Korea's.
Really?
Now, yeah, if you travel outside of Seoul or even, some places in Seoul, you can see the changing colors of the leaves.
Yeah.
red, green, brown, yellow, orange,
Exactly.
all the colors of the rainbow, right? Canada, East Coast looks very, very similar right now.
그렇군요. 캐나다의 동부와 우리나라 가을 정치가 좀 비슷하다고 합니다.
It's because the weather is kind of similar.
I guess so.
Yeah.
It's quite cold though in Canada.
It's about
isn't
the
it?
same
Is it?
now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about the same. But the winters are colder, that's for
Yes.
sure. Yeah. How cold does it get in England at its coldest time in the winter?
I haven't been in a while.
Yeah.
When I was there, it didn't get very cold.
Does it
These
go
days-
below zero?
These days, I hear you get a lot of snow. So yeah, definitely below zero. But when I was there, not often. It was almost the same all year round.
Weather patterns in England seem to be changing because
Yeah.
I remember hearing this summer about a quote unquote heat wave where things got
That's
in
true.
the mid 30s or maybe even a little higher.
Higher than that, I think.
Now
yeah.
it's snowing in the wintertime. Weather patterns are changing around the world, I guess.
네, 정수임 님이요. 안녕하세요, 수진쌤, 스티브쌤. 금요일이네요. 오늘도 좋은 아침입니다. 하셨어요. Good morning to you too. 끝번호 1191 쓰시는 분이요. 기온이 많이 떨어졌습니다. 모두들 옷 따뜻하게 입고 나가세요. 라고 하셨어요.
It is a little chillier this
Yeah,
morning, right? Was it
sweater weather.
like 1 degree, I think I saw?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. 김심희님은요. 눈 뜨자마자 반디 틀고 누워서 듣고 있어요. 목감기가 잘 안 나아서 위 내시경을 못 받고 있어요. 오늘은 더 춥네요 하셨습니다. She's a little bit sick, but thanks to that, she's lying down and listening to the radio in her bed.
Perfect.
That's lovely.
Yes, get yourself some ginger tea, some ginger
Yes.
honey tea. Relax on this Friday morning and enjoy the show. What's up for the weekend? Anything fun?
I think I'll go leaf peeping.
Oh, yes, you are going to look, are you? Yeah, I don't know. Looking at, going out during this time of year, it's a good thing to do. And people go to the mountains a lot to do
Yeah.
it, right? But I do enjoy it, but I tend to enjoy it in the places that I'm already going, if that makes sense, rather
Yeah.
than making a specific trip out to have a look.
Yeah, because sometimes in certain neighborhoods or apartment complexes, you can find really lovely trees.
Exactly. Same with the cherry blossoms,
That's
right?
true.
Everybody goes to Yoido or
Yeah.
these other locations, but sometimes you can find it right next to your house. Anyway,
Exactly.
very quickly, I remember one year I did want to make a point of going to check out the changing colors of the leaves. So I went all the way to the East Coast
강원도.
to Sorak, right?
Soraksan,
And I had a
yeah.
big plan. In the morning, I was going to wake up and take the cable car up. I was going to take a lot of pictures. It was the perfect time of year. I woke up in the morning. I drove to the cable car. The wait was 2 hours and 20 minutes. So I got back in my car and I came back to Seoul, and that was that.
아, 어떡해요. 설악산까지 가셨는데 케이블카 대기줄이 2시간이나 기다려야 된다 그래서 곧바로 다시 차 타고 서울로 돌아오셨다는
2시간 20분요.
2시간 20분. 아이고. 다 선생님이랑 같은 마음으로 강원도로 가셨나 보다. 예, 올해는 또 가을 정치를 좀 만끽하셨으면 좋겠습니다. Well, if you'd like to listen to the headlines again, you can do so by going to Morning Special's website. Morning Special 홈페이지에 들어가셔서요. 헤드라인 다시 듣기에서 무료로 다시 들으실 수 있습니다. Let's go over the stories.
Headline number one this morning. Iran has announced the resumption of uranium enrichment at the country's underground Fordo nuclear facility.
이란이 핵 합의 이행 수준을 축소하는 4단계 조처로 포르도 지하시설에서 우라늄 농축을 재개했습니다.
So this is the fourth step that Iran has taken in response to the sanctions reinstated by U.S. President Donald Trump when he abandoned the nuclear deal last year. Now, the nuclear deal goes back to 2015, and it was called the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, or the JCPOA. And there, the United States and Iran and other countries, Britain, China, France, Russia, and Germany, they agreed on Iran's nuclear enrichment for their program.
Right.
And what they agreed upon at that time was that they would set their limits to 3.67% enrichment. And Iran had been following that agreement up until a certain point in time when the United States decided to pull out of this agreement. Now, the reason that President Trump decided to pull out of this is he said that the deal did not do enough to prevent Iran from developing nuclear weapons, and it gave the country too much in the way of sanction given relief. And now the United States have imposed new rounds of sanction against Iran. And Iran's response is, well, if you're not going to follow the 2015 deal, now neither are we. And they are now enriching at 4.5%.
Right. 네, 2015년에 체결된 이란 핵 합의, 영어로는 JCPOA라고 줄여서 말하기도 하는데요. JCPOA에 따르면은 이란은 우라늄을 3.67%까지 농축할 수 있다고 합니다. 90%까지 가야 이제 핵 무기로 사용할 수 있는데요. 3.67%까지 이란이 잘 유지를 하고 있었으나 작년에 미국이 이 JCPOA에서 탈퇴를 하면서 이란은 일종의 뭐라 그럴까요? 도발 아니면은 좀 반대 입장으로 볼 수도 있겠고, 사실 이란의 대통령은 미국한테 고맙다는 말까지 했습니다. 미국 덕분에 우리가 우라늄을 더 농축할 수 있게 됐다, 이런 얘기까지 했는데요. 약간은 비꼬는 듯한 어조가 느껴지네요. 그래서 이란이 이번에는 이제 4.5%까지 올린 그 우라늄 농도를 앞으로 더욱더 이렇게 개발을 하겠다 발표를 한 것입니다.
So they're still within 4.5% enrichment is still within the window of uranium enrichment for commercial use for things like the medical industry and others. But the issue that the United States has is that this, once it is enriched up to a certain level, because the most laborious part, apparently, of enriching uranium is at the lower levels, 0 to 20%. But once you enrich within that window, it's very easy for them to enrich it up to 85 to 90%, and that's the concentration necessary for a nuclear weapon. The response from the White House, U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said in a statement asking world leaders to help prevent Iran from developing a nuclear weapon. So it's a trust issue.
네, 그렇습니다. 미국이 이제 JCPOA에서 탈퇴를 한 이후 계속해서 이란에 여러 가지 제재를 가하는 모습을 우리가 볼 수 있었는데요. 이란이 이번에는 우리도 가만히 있지 않겠다라는 그런 입장을 보이고 있는 것 같고요. 미국은 이렇게 이란이 우라늄 농축을 재개한 것에 대해서 규탄을 하면서 It's a big step in the wrong direction. 잘못된 방향으로의 아주 큰 발자국이다. 직역을 하자면 그렇고요. 규탄을 하는 모습을 보였고 EU는 우려를 표명했습니다. The EU is very concerned is what they're saying about this.
That's right. And Iran's president has said this is reversible. Iran's president has also said we can work with other countries to kind of circumvent these UN sanctions. So perhaps there is an opportunity for this to be reversed.
그렇군요. 미국의 제재가 만약에 좀 완화되고 줄어든다면은 이란에서도 우리도 다시 한번 재고할 의향이 있다. 이렇게 밝혔나 봅니다. Let's go on to our next headline.
Amid 3 weeks of anti-government protests, Chile's president has sent a bill to Congress that would raise the country's minimum wage.
경제 불평등에 분노한 시위가 3주째 이어지고 있는 칠레에서 대통령이 최저임금 인상 법안을 제안했습니다.
So if you remember, this started last month over an increase in subway fares.
Yeah.
But this has now grown into a massive movement where protesters are demanding a broad range of changes. The protests have been sometimes peaceful, sometimes not. At least 20 people have died in clashes and looting and arson that forced the cancellation of 2 upcoming major international summits. One was the environmental summit when we talked about Greta Thunberg needing to get to Spain instead of Chile. Well, this is the reason, because it needed to be canceled.
네, 그렇습니다. 칠레에서 이제 지난달 지하철 요금 인상이 이제 정부에서 발표가 되자 그때부터 촉발된 시위가 지금 3주째 이어지고 있습니다. 칠레는요, 남미에서 비교적 좀 잘 사는 나라로 알려져 있는데 2017년 UN 자료에 따르면은 상위 1%의 부자들이 칠레의 전체 26%의 그 경제권을 차지하고 있는 것으로 굉장히 이제 빈익부 빈익빈 현상이 강하다 이렇게 볼 수 있을 것 같습니다. 그래서 여러 가지 지금 정부의 변화를 요구하고 있는 시위가 이어지고 있는 겁니다.
Right. So that's what the headline is about this morning, is President Sebastián Piñera's response to all of these protests. So he has guaranteed a minimum salary of $470 a month. But critics, protesters, are saying that's a Band-Aid. That's not enough for what we are looking for.
see.
Some are asking even for a new constitution to replace the 1980 charter that was written under General Augusto Pinochet's military dictatorship that allows for social services and natural resources, including water, to be wholly or at least partially privatized. And the protesters are also talking about a criticized pension system and hybrid public and private health and education systems that give benefits to the rich who can afford to pay more. So they're talking about economic disparity within the country.
그러게요. 등 경제 양극화 현상이 굉장히 극심한 것 같은데요. 지금 이제 세바스티안 피네라 칠레 대통령이 월 우리 돈으로 한 54만 원으로 최저임금을 인상하겠다라는 그런 법안에 서명을 했지만 이 시위는 아직까지 잦아드는 모습을 우리가 찾아볼 수가 없습니다. 시위가 계속 이어지고 있기 때문에 APEC 그리고 COP25라고 불리우는 UN 기후변화 해박 당사국 총회도 칠레가 개최하지 않기로 했죠. Let's go on to our next headline.
Following U.S.-led talks, Egypt, Ethiopia, and Sudan have made a commitment to resolving a dispute over a large dam project along the Nile River.
이집트, 에티오피아, 수단 3개국이 미국 중재로 나일강의 물 분쟁에 관한 해결책 마련에 나섰습니다.
So these three countries, Egypt, Ethiopia, and Sudan, they issued a statement saying they would continue their negotiations in Washington. Talks will be held on December 9th and January 13th. The goal is to find a resolution by January 15th of next year. But a little bit of information about this dam. It's called the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, and it's been in the works since 2011. It's a massive hydroelectric dam project along the Nile River. If you've seen images of it, I'm not sure if we have an image this morning for our listeners or not, but it is huge. It is absolutely huge. So Ethiopia, they plan to start filling and operating the reservoir next year in 2020. The aim is to be one of the world's biggest dams and becoming Africa's biggest power exporter. But the countries have been in talks, but those talks broke down. Earlier this year, Egypt has asked the U.S. to step in as a mediator.
네, 그렇습니다. 그랜드 이티오피아 르네상스 댐이라는 이 프로젝트가 2011년부터 얘기가 오고 갔지만 좀처럼 합의점을 찾지 못한 이 3개국, 이집트, 이티오피아 그리고 수단이 이제는 미국이 중재하는 그런 구도로 앞으로 이 분쟁을 좀 해결해 보겠다라는 의지를 보인 것이고요. 앞으로 이제 최소 4차례의 특별 회의를 열어서 거기에는 뭐 세계은행이라든지 뭐 미국 정부 지원 아래 이제 수자원 관련된 장관들도 참여하는 그런 회의에 참석을 해서 1월 15일까지 합의점을 찾는 것이 목표라고 합니다. 보이는 라디오에 지금 영상을 띄워드리고 있는데요. This is the picture.
Yes.
Of the dam in question.
It's huge. And the reason the talks broke down, or at least part of the reason the talks broke down, you know, the Nile River provides water and electricity to the 10 countries that the river passes through. And Sudan and Egypt were worried that the project could threaten their water supply. Egypt, for example, they've suffered from a water crisis in recent years. They rely on the river for 90% of its drinking water. And in regards to the talks, the January 15th deadline, if there's no resolution reached by then they will look to an international mediator. They have agreed on that.
아, 그렇군요. 만약에 1월 15일까지 합의를 하지 못할 경우에는 또 다른 뭐 국제 기구라든지 또 다른 중재를 찾을 것이다. 이렇게 입장을 밝혔고요. Let's go on to our next headline.
More than 2,000 teachers and other employees in Croatia's education system have rallied in the capital of Zagreb to press for higher wages.
크로아티아에서 교사와 교육계 종사자 2천여 명이 거리로 나와 임금 인상을 요구하는 시위를 벌였습니다.
So the protesters marched on Wednesday through the city before gathering outside of the government headquarters in Zagreb. They were carrying banners and blowing whistles, and the unions are demanding wage hikes, but the talks with the government have not yielded any results yet. A spokesperson from Croatia's teachers union said it's important to show the government that teachers are ready to fight for their dignity.
그래요. 이렇게 크로아티아의 교사들은 벌써 한 달 가까이 이렇게 파업을 벌여왔다고 합니다. 교사 노조에 따르면은 공공 분야 중에서 교사들이 가장 낮은 임금을 받고 있다라고 하면서 더 나은 어떤 여건 속에서 일을 할 수 있도록 임금 인상을 요구하고 있는 모습입니다.
It started last month, and you know there are 1,000 schools in Croatia, tens of thousands of employees, and the strikes are on their 19th day. They're calling it rotating strikes because each day it's staged in a different county around Croatia. Anyway, universities have joined in as well, so this is a big deal.
Large scale, all right. Let's go on to our final headline.
China and France have decided to cooperate in restoration efforts of France's Notre Dame Cathedral.
중국이 화재로 훼손된 프랑스 파리 노트르담 대성당 복구 작업에 참여하기로 했습니다.
We know that French President Emmanuel Macron was in Beijing visiting with Chinese leader Xi Jinping, and this is one of the things that they talked about. We remember back in April the horrific fire at the Notre Dame Cathedral, which, by the way, was 850 years old. And the fire tore through the roof, and the spire toppled over.
Right.
You know, that was the most visited historic monument in Europe.
Was it?
In all of
Europe?
In all of
wow.
Europe. It took 400 firefighters to control the fire. But now Chinese and French authorities, they have been in touch about cooperating on restoration efforts. And China, you know, they have a great deal of experience in renovating ancient buildings affected by fire, especially ones made of wood. So that means that they could possibly offer suggestions on how to approach the renovation project of the oak-framed roof of the cathedral.
그렇습니다. 노트르담 대성당의 이제 목재로 된 부분이 또 이번에 불에 탔었는데요. 프랑스 측에서는 중국이 이런 목재 건축에 있어서 굉장히 전문성을 가지고 있기 때문에 아마 큰 도움이 될 것이다. 이렇게 밝히고 있습니다. 2021 is going to be a year of cultural tourism between China and France. So they're working towards that in many ways.
Yeah, there's no reconstruction expected to start before 2021, actually. And the reconstruction, is going to take a long time, many, many years.
Of course. All right. Well, those were our headlines for this morning. Let's remind our listeners of the quiz.
An informal term describing the activity in which people travel to view the fall foliage is leaf blank. Is it number 1, leaf peeping, number 2, leaf tasting, number 3, leaf hugging?
짧은 문자 50원, 긴 문자 100원에 샵 1045로 보내주시고요. 반디 게시판이나 카카오톡 플러스 이용도 가능합니다. 추첨을 통해서 총 5분께 저자극 순환비누 보내드리겠습니다. We'll be right back after listening to a song. The first one of the hour is Anne-Marie, 2002. You're listening to Morning Special. It's a Friday. And let us know where you think would be a great place to go leaf peeping. 이정옥 님이요. 단풍하면은 청송 주황산이 최고죠. 산행도 수월하고요. 하고 보내셨습니다. 아하, 청송. This person has recommended this particular place to go to.
Where's that?
Don't ask me.
Where's that? 정옥님?
It's somewhere lovely, I'm sure.
Because the person sitting next to me has no idea.
That is true. I shall look it up. 강지윤님은요. 제가 추천하고 싶은 단풍 명소는 내장산입니다. 새빨간 단풍과 샛노란 은행잎이 어우러지고 멋진 풍광을 볼 수 있는 곳이에요. 라고 보내주셨어요. Again, this place actually has come up a couple of times. I think this is in Seoul, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, okay, sorry, 전라도. Very, very far.
How long have you lived in Korea? 10 minutes?
Gosh.
I'm only teasing you. I'm no expert on the geography of the country either.
I'm probably worse than you, as you can tell right now. I apologize.
내장산 is in Jeollabuk-do.
Ah, thank you so much.
No, thank you, Paul, who put that on the monitor.
베티님은요. 원주 뮤지엄산 강추합니다. 지지난주 다녀왔는데요. 사진을 지금 보내주셨어요. 내일 또 가는데 서울에서 가깝고 건축물과 단풍의 조화가 너무 좋아요. Wow, look at that.
Is that a pension or a cafe?
I don't know. Is that a swimming pool? Why is it blue? It looks
I think
really
it's water,
pretty.
right?
Okay.
For our listeners who can't see this right now, we're looking at kind of a swimming pool setting, but there's like
It's a museum, all right, it says.
I see. There's like a deck in the middle of the pool where you can sit, it seems, and have a coffee, perhaps.
Wow, it's actually called Museum Sun. So the Museum Mountain.
Oh, apparently it's quite famous. That looks like a beautiful place to visit this time of year.
Yeah, wow. Well, thank you, everyone.
That's what I love about, I've lived here for almost 20 years, but I often feel like it's my first week. Do you know what I mean? Because when
Tell me about it.
Well, when I see pictures like this and I hear of places that, where people recommend to go, even Seoul itself, Seoul feels so big that it feels like there are cities within the city. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there are plenty of places within Seoul, even though I live in Seoul, that I've never been before.
That's true.
And that kind of keeps the city and the country feeling fresh, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
아무리 뭐 서울에서 20년 살았어도 가보지 않은 곳이 정말 많죠. 또 서울뿐만 아니라 이렇게 다양한 단풍 구경 명소 소개해 주셔서 감사합니다. 조윤영님은요. 저는 아이들과 내일 고령 단풍나무 숲으로 버스 여행 갑니다. 특가로 1인당 10,000원으로 가니까 공짜로 가는 느낌이에요. Wow, that's cheap.
What?
This
10,000 won?
10,000 won
For
for
what?
a bus trip down to Goryeo, where they're going to go and take a look at some autumn leaves this weekend.
Sounds nice. Manwon for a bus trip sounds pretty reasonable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, nice.
All right, well, keep sending in your messages as well as the answer to the quiz. If you have any questions, ask away. We have 5 저자국 순환 비누 sets to give out in the first hour.
Just very quickly, talking about, not going to places and not seeing things that you typically do.
Yeah.
For example, I've never been to Niagara Falls.
Really?
In Canada.
I have.
People find that surprising. I know. Many people here in Korea have seen more places in Canada than I have, but it reminds me of a funny story.
Yeah.
I was in a taxi one day and we were going up around Namsan. And I just looked at the tower, and for some reason I thought to ask the taxi driver, "Sir, where are you from? Are you from Seoul?" And he said, "Yeah." And I asked him, "Have you ever been up there to the tower?" And he said, "Nope."
No. Wow.
People don't, when you live here, you just
That's so
don't
true.
do stuff, right?
Yeah,
that other
absolutely.
people do when they visit.
오늘은 뭐 가까운 곳이라도 오늘뿐만 아니라 주말에 가까운 곳에 한번 다녀오는 게 어떨까요? Okay, let's take a look at our news focus stories. 첫 번째 뉴스 포커스입니다. 미국 일부 주에서 실시된 미니 지방선거가 민주당의 승리로 끝났는데요. 이 결과를 두고 외신들은 트럼프 대통령에 대한 suburb, 그러니까 교외의 반란이다 라고 평가했습니다. 교외라 하면 대략 대도시와 시골의 중간지대일 텐데요. 이들의 표심이 트럼프 대통령의 재선을 위협하는 변수로 적용할지 관심이 모아지고 있습니다. Let's listen to the story.
The suburban revolt against U.S. President Donald Trump's Republican Party is growing. In Kentucky, Trump and his allies went all in to rescue embattled Governor Matt Bevin, while voters in Virginia ran away from Trump, downplaying their support for his policies and encouraging him to stay away. There's little doubt Tuesday's outcome is a warning to Republicans across the nation, and while neither Virginia nor Kentucky is likely to be a critical battleground in the presidential race next year, Tuesday's results are sure to rattle Republican members of Congress searching for victory through rapidly shifting territory.
네, 미국의 이제 어떻게 보면은 국민들을 크게 3가지로 분류를 한다면 도심지에 있는 사람들이 있을 수 있고요. 그다음에 이제 시골이 있고 그다음에 중간지대인 교외에 사는 분들이 계실 텐데 overall, they say that people in the city, they tend to favor the Democrats. People in the countryside tend to favor the Republicans. And then those who live in the suburbs, it's a bit divided. But this time around, we saw a lot of them going towards the Democratic Party, whereas in the past, some of them were not like that.
And Kentucky, we talked about in particular, where that in 2016 was such a landslide victory for the Republicans.
Yeah.
And now we're seeing a shift. And yes, of course, Virginia and Kentucky, this isn't determining the outcome of the 2020 presidential election, of course.
True.
But it's enough to make Republicans pause
Yeah.
and think, maybe we should be worried about this.
Exactly. So Trump and his allies went all in.
They did. They held a rally, right, the night before to
Yeah.
support Governor Bevin to no avail. If you go all in, I believe it is a term from poker that means you are 100% committed. If you are playing poker and you push all of your chips into the middle, then you are all in. Now think about what that means in a figurative sense for you personally. If you say, I'm all in, it means I'm 100% committed. When you propose to get married, then you are all in. What about when you quit your job? Would you say you're all out?
I don't know. Do
No,
you say that?
we don't say the opposite. We only say all in. So when you quit your job, you wouldn't say I'm all out. But if you started a new project with your friend, starting a new company, and you say, I'm 100% into this project. I'm all in.
네, 예전에 이병헌 씨와 송하교 씨가 주연했던 드라마 제목도 올인이었죠?
I remember that. The poker
그겁니다.
drama, right? You know, I was in Jeju,
Oh.
and there was a little tiny church on a cliff next to the ocean. And I don't know if they filmed something from that drama there, the all-in drama, but it was a kind of a hot touristy spot.
Right,
so I
right.
went there and had a look around. I guess they must have filmed something there. It's pretty interesting.
Yes. 자, 그래서 all in 그러면 원래는 그 뭐 카드 게임에서 나온 표현이지만 전부 모든 에너지를 어딘가에다 쏟는다라는 뜻이죠. 켄터키에서는 당연히 승리할 것으로 기대를 했었기 때문에 트럼프 측에서 이제 올인을 했었다. 그렇지만 거기서도 이제 민주당한테 자리를 뺏겼습니다. And let's look at another expression here. The results are likely to... Sorry.
That's okay. The results are likely to rattle Republican members. So to rattle... well, first of all, it can be a baby's toy.
Yeah.
That's a rattle. But
Yep.
that's not what we're talking about here. If you are rattled, it means that something happened and now you are emotionally disturbed or emotionally shaken. Let me give you an example. If you are driving on the highway and someone cuts you off and you almost... not you do, but you almost get in a big accident.
Yeah.
Then you're shaking, right? You're shaking and you feel very upset and you feel very disturbed. That's the feeling of being rattled.
I've had that happen
Yeah.
before. Very, very close, like about a centimeter or two away. There was this car that just came towards me and then moved away. But I was
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, I
That-
almost got into a car accident.
That feeling you felt was
Yeah.
rattled. Yeah. Let me give you one last example. So if you are ready to give your presentation, and it's going to be in Korean,
Yeah.
right? And then at the last minute, your boss says, ooh, our foreign clients are here today. Do this in English, okay? And you think,
oh no.
you feel very disturbed, right? And kind of shaky. That's the feeling of being rattled.
네, be rattled라고 하면 굉장히 몹시 놀라다라는 뜻이 있습니다. 근데 이제 최근에 있었던 이 지방선거의 결과가 It will rattle Republican members라고 했기 때문에 공화당 의원들을 굉장히 놀라게 할 것이다라고 해석을 할 수도 있겠고요. 사실 여기서 이제 뒤흔들 것이다라는 의미로 해석을 하면 좋겠습니다. Let's listen to the story one more time.
The suburban revolt against U.S. President Donald Trump's Republican Party is growing. In Kentucky, Trump and his allies went all in to rescue embattled Governor Matt Bevin, while voters in Virginia ran away from Trump, downplaying their support for his policies and encouraging him to stay away. There's little doubt Tuesday's outcome is a warning to Republicans across the nation, and while neither Virginia nor Kentucky is likely to be a critical battleground in the presidential race next year, Tuesday's results are sure to rattle Republican members of Congress searching for victory through rapidly shifting territory.
두 번째 뉴스 포커스입니다. 그리스의 한 극우단체가 수용자 대부분이 무슬림인 난민 캠프 인근에서 돼지고기 바베큐 시위를 벌일 계획이라고 밝혀 논란이 일고 있는데요. 그리스 내 이주민 유입이 크게 증가한 데 대해 항의하는 의미라고 합니다. Let's listen to the story.
A Greek nationalist group has caused an uproar with its plans to protest immigration by grilling pork and drinking beer outside a camp full of Muslim asylum seekers. The group, United Macedonians, is calling on supporters to join in a barbecue protest Sunday to demonstrate against the rising numbers of undocumented immigrants in Greece, a frontline state for migration into the European Union. The protest comes amid tensions over immigration in Greece as it faces a surge of arrivals through Turkey, the majority of whom come from war-torn countries like Afghanistan and Syria.
Well, this isn't very nice, and it's also very intentional.
It's disgusting, actually. You know, this is my opinion, if you don't mind me sharing. If you don't agree with the immigration policies, that's one thing.
Yeah.
You have the right to do that. But to stand in front of a group of people who have just escaped somewhere for their lives, running for their lives, trying to make a better life for themselves and their family, and to stand in front of them and mock them, it's disgusting.
그렇죠. 무슬림들은 이슬람 율법에 따라서 돼지고기와 이제 알코올을 먹고 마시지 않습니다. 그런데 이거를 뻔히 알고 이렇게 그리스 안에 너무 많은 이주민들이 유입됐다라고 말하는 이 극우 단체가 돼지고기 바베큐를 할 것이다 라고 공공연하게 밝힌 것이고요. 이에 대해서 이게 어떤 뭐 정치 범죄나 아니면은 뭐 국민의 그냥 당연한 권리냐라는 두 가지 입장이 드러난 거고 뭐 대치되는 그런 모습입니다. So there's an uproar.
Yes, it has. This has caused an uproar. This group has. So an uproar is when people or a group or a country gets very, very, very upset about something, right? Yeah. So we hear the example in this article, because this group is doing this, it's caused an uproar in the country. Also, you could say that the immigration has caused an uproar with people who don't agree with it.
Right.
To be very upset about something, it implies very quickly as well.
그렇습니다. 어떤 뭐 소란이나 소동을 uproar라고 표현을 할 수 있는데요. 이렇게 그 돼지고기 바베큐 시위를 벌인다라는 발표가 있자 굉장히 논란이 되고 있습니다. Okay, and a surge of arrivals is, I suppose, the sticking point.
Yes, so the surge of arrivals is in reference to the large numbers moving in a direction. Tidal surge would be an easy example. That's when you see a large amount of water moving in one direction very quickly. When we talk about a surge of people, then we're talking about a large number of people moving in a direction very quickly.
그렇죠. 뭔가 이렇게 밀려들 때 surge of 뭐뭐뭐라고 하는데요. 바닷가에 가면 이제 파도가 밀려든다. So there's a surge of tidal waves, for example. 이렇게 할 수도 있겠고, 사람도 이제 밀려든다. surge of people이라고 할 수 있습니다.
You can also, now those are literal examples, but you can use this figuratively as well. For example, a surge of interest.
Yeah.
If all of a sudden people become very, very interested in something, malatang, would that be a good example?
I don't know.
Because you know the Chinese dish,
Yeah.
right? All of a sudden, you don't know? That was like the hot food for a while.
Was it?
Yeah, it was the new thing. Everybody was eating it. You know how Seoul is a very trendy city in terms of food?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
malatang was like the new thing for a while.
그래요.
I don't know if it still is, but there was a big surge in the number of people going to malatang restaurants.
마라탕이 또 이제 한때 인기였군요. 관심이 굉장히 많아졌을 때 there's a surge of interest라고 할 수 있겠습니다. 우리 작가님이 요즘에는 there's a surge of interest in penguin language 라고 하셨네요. Okay, let's listen to the story one more time.
A Greek nationalist group has caused an uproar with its plans to protest immigration by grilling pork and drinking beer outside a camp full of Muslim asylum seekers. The group, United Macedonians, is calling on supporters to join in a barbecue protest Sunday to demonstrate against the rising numbers of undocumented immigrants in Greece, a frontline state for migration into the European Union. The protest comes amid tensions over immigration in Greece as it faces a surge of arrivals through Turkey, the majority of whom come from war-torn countries like Afghanistan and Syria.
Let's remind our listeners of the quiz again.
Quiz question today. An informal term describing the activity in which people travel to view the fall foliage is leaf blank. Number 1, leaf peeping. Number 2, leaf tasting. Number 3, leaf hugging.
짧은 문자 50원, 긴 문자 100원에 샵 1045로 보내주시고요. 반디 게시판이나 카카오톡 플러스 이용도 가능합니다. 추첨을 통해서 총 5분께 저자극 순한 비누 보내드리겠습니다. We'll be right back with the third news focus after Troye Sivan sings Youth. 자, 다음 뉴스 포커스 살펴볼게요. 손흥민 선수가 유럽 프로축구 통산 한국인 최다골 신기록을 세웠습니다. 어제 있었던 챔피언스 리그 경기에서 2골을 추가하면서 차범근 선수가 보유하고 있던 121골 기록을 넘어 123골을 기록하게 된 건데요. Let's listen to the story.
Son Heung-min continues to write his own legacy as the greatest South Korean goal scorer in European club football history, with a chance to put an almost insurmountable distance between he and whoever wants to challenge his record. With a pair of goals against Red Star Belgrade in the UEFA Champions League group match Wednesday in Belgrade, the Tottenham Hotspur became the all-time leading South Korean scorer in Europe with 123. He broke a tie with Cha Bom-gun, the 1980s Bundesliga legend who retired with 121.
It's sensational.
Hey! Unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
He's only 27 years old.
Oh, is he only that? Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Look
Unbelievable.
at this
right?
chart that we have on a Boinen Radio right now. This is all of his achievements. And basically, I mean, over the different leagues and games he's played, he's broken record after record. I think if we compare that to Cha Bom-gun, apparently he's surpassed Cha Bom-gun's record, not only in its, the total number, but in terms of when he achieved it, his age. He's much younger, apparently. So, yeah, amazing.
It is amazing, yeah. And he's not finished.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Right? So this is going to grow and grow and grow to a larger number, right?
Right.
Well done, sir.
All right, so let's look at some expressions here.
Well, by the time he is done, now the number is 123. But who knows what the number will be? Maybe 140, maybe 160, who knows?
Yep.
Anyway, that record may be insurmountable. This is a big word with a simple meaning.
Okay.
Insurmountable means no one will break the record. No one can catch you. You are going to win. Let's give the example of politics, right? So if two politicians are in a competition and they are watching the voting come in, the voting results, and one participant or one politician has 70% of the vote. Well, that's insurmountable. But you can't win. You can't defeat that. And that's why we talked about Son Heung-min's record. Once he sets it, whatever it will be finally, maybe it's insurmountable, meaning no one can ever beat it.
네, 아무도 대체할 수 없을 때 아니면 극복할 수 없을 때 insurmountable이라는 표현을 쓰는데요. 여기서는 뒤에 나와 있는 distance between he and whoever wants to challenge his record라고 해서 이 기록을 아마 깰 수 있는 사람은 없을 것이다 라는 의미로 쓰였습니다. 근데 만약에 어떤 투표 결과에서 출구조사 지금까지 한 후보가 70%의 득표율을 보이고 있습니다라고 하면은 굉장히 확연하게 극복할 수 없는 것이다라고 해서 that's an insurmountable what would you say win for the candidate?
An insurmountable number.
A number. Okay.
Yeah.
아하. 극복할 수 없는 숫자다. 아무리 잘해도 다른 후보가 30%밖에 받을 수 없을 테니 그때 쓸 수도 있군요.
And the reason we say that the number is the answer there is because there's that bar, right? And you're
그 숫자를 극복할 수
you're
없으니까.
trying, you can't go past that bar. You can't catch that bar.
네, 알겠습니다.
Anyway, he broke the tie with Cha Bom-gun, who retired with 121. So let's talk about a tie first. When we're talking about sports or competition, if the final score is 2-2, that's a tie.
Yes.
Or 1-1, or 6-6, or 10-10. The numbers are the same, it's a tie.
맞아요. 동점을 영어로는 tie라고 하죠.
So, when Son Heung-min had 121 goals, he was tied with Cha Bom-gun. But the second that he scored the 122nd goal,
Yeah.
he broke the tie.
그렇죠. 동점을 깨다라는 뜻으로 break the tie 여기서 이제 쓰인 겁니다. He broke a tie with Cha Bom-gun. Different sports, of course, use different expressions, but with football, at least, you know, a tie would be the expression used. I think in tennis, use a different expression. Love, I think, is the expression used. So there you
You've
go.
corrected me on that before. Why do you keep tennis shaming me?
I didn't think you'd remember. I'm so happy you did.
Of course I remember.
Let's listen to this story one more time.
Son Heung-min continues to write his own legacy as the greatest South Korean goal scorer in European club football history, with a chance to put an almost insurmountable distance between he and whoever wants to challenge his record. With a pair of goals against Red Star Belgrade in the UEFA Champions League group match Wednesday in Belgrade, the Tottenham Hotspur became the all-time leading South Korean scorer in Europe with 123. He broke a tie with Cha Bom-gun, the 1980s Bundesliga legend who retired with 121.
And of course, Son Heung-min is showing his little heart with his
Yeah.
fingers there.
He's very affable, isn't
Yeah,
he?
he is.
Affable means likable.
Indeed.
Yeah.
What's the answer to the quiz, Steve?
I don't know. I've never heard this expression before.
Okay.
Well, let's see. An informal term describing the activity in which people travel to view the fall foliage is leaf blank. Number 2, leaf tasting. That sounds like a vegan food festival.
Yeah.
Number 3, leaf hugging. That sounds like a Greenpeace event. So let's go with number 1, leaf peeping.
That is correct.
Because to peep means to look.
그렇죠. 1번이 정답입니다. Congratulations 이문호님, 함우진님, 김경모님, 1397님 그리고 아이디 김하리님 축하드립니다. 저자극 순환비누 보내드릴게요. Steve, what is today's expression?
Well, we learned the expression all in, right? But there are only certain cases where you can say, I'm all in. You know, like I said, if it's a relationship you are fully committing to, or a company or a job that you are fully committing to.
Yeah.
But we don't often, every day, fully commit
Right.
to something, right? But we do use this expression very, very commonly. Let's remove the all and let's just say, I'm in.
I'm in. 오늘의 표현입니다.
Very commonly used. Sue, you want to get a coffee after the show?
I'm in.
Yeah, exactly. Means, okay, let's do it.
아, 좋아요. 동의합니다. 그런 뜻으로 I'm in이라고 할 수 있습니다.
The team is going on vacation together, Sue. We're going to the Philippines. You want to come?
I'm in.
Yeah.
Wow. Are we really going to the Philippines?
No, that was just a sentence example.
Oh, no. All right.
But it can
Thank
be
you.
anything. Any plan where you say, yeah, okay, I'll do that. Then you can say, yep, I'm in.
맞아요. 그래서 okay나 yes 대신에 쓸 수 있는 또 재밌는 표현입니다. I'm in. 이렇게 할 수 있어요. Thank you so much, Steve.
You're very welcome. I hope you have a great Friday. Thank you for having me. And to our listeners, I'll see you tomorrow for the review show.
Absolutely. Well, coming up in the second hour of Morning Special, we have Say What and also lifestyle tips with Andreas. Here's Cheryl Lynn taking us there. Got to be real.